Welcome to Massive Passive Cash Flow, the podcast that guides professionals to financial prosperity. Join our community and let's start building your wealth. Here's your host, Gary Wilson.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to this week's live Path to Prosperity podcast. We actually call this the Massive Passive Cash Flow podcast. How about that? As you know, recently rebranded, and we're all about professionals and business owners who invest in real estate. The difference is we do it the right way. I'm not knocking the other stuff. I'm not knocking no money down or financing. I've done all that, did it for years. But the fact is when you can get on a cash basis and you control the shots with financing, you borrow strategically instead of out of need, it'll change your investing projectile dramatically. And that's what I learned to do, and that's what I teach you to do. We got a massive network across the U.S. and Canada, and now we're expanding over the pond, so to speak. Even people down in the Bahamas, okay? So for the most part, you're busy, you're good with your money, and you don't have a lot of time to be messing around with people who really are not up to par. So we have agents we call investor agents. We trained over 3,000 of them over the last 5 years, all over those areas I just described, mainly U.S. and Canada. We're trained to work with us investors. Remember, I'm an investor too, okay? So you can look for them. You can go to the website, Massive Passive Cash Flow. It's a community site where all those investors are on there, you investors, and also the investor agents who are trained to work with you. They're trained by investors to work with investors. It's unique. They have to be certified, and we're the only ones that can certify them, okay? So go to the website, go to realestatewithgarywilson.com, learn all about it, grab the free stuff, lots of free books and tutorials. Tons of videos, YouTube channel, Real Estate with Gary Wilson on YouTube channel, 150 videos. Just grab what you can get. And by the way, on the website, click on the members area and check it out for free for 30 days. On the right-hand side, doesn't cost anything. Get all the stuff you want, information, tools, strategies, marketing campaigns. You can find out who needs to sell, who wants to sell. We have all that too. So welcome aboard, everybody, and also welcome aboard to Noah Brandy, and I was getting it backwards. Sorry, Noah. And I know Noah because his wife and I used to work together a long time ago back in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. So big connection there. And also one of his colleagues, Christine Hyatt, used to be one of my agents. So when she called me about this a while back, and I said I know Noah's name. And she said, well, you're probably because he's married to Casey. And I won't mention any last names because I'm not sure if she wants to do that, Noah, but I said, absolutely, man. I worked with her and her parents. So, guys, I can vouch for this 100%. Noah's got a great product he's going to tell you about to help you in your business, your professionals, your business owners, and a lot of you invest. You can use this to generate another stream of cash flow for yourself, okay? And more importantly, you can help out your tenants. You can help out your colleagues. So Noah, man, welcome aboard. I appreciate you taking your valuable time to enlighten us on this, and good to have you here, man.
Yeah, glad to be here, Gary. I'm fired up about it. Thanks for inviting me on the call. I was excited about it, and just pulling some thoughts together. And I know you have a great audience through business owners to investors, agents, real estate professionals. So fired up to be on the call with you here today.
Well, I tell you what, if you could, for everyone else listening here. Tell us a little bit about your background. I know, Casey, your family are big investors. I'm a big investor, and we got a lot of common background there. But kind of fill everybody else in, if you don't mind. And what directed your business towards helping other real estate professionals?
Yes, absolutely. Fired up, yeah. So, like I mentioned, I'm from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and I'm a problem solver. So, my background is engineering. I was an efficiency engineer. So I specialize in identifying waste in a process, and here's what I found. There's a lot of inefficiencies in real estate. Watching my wife and mother-in-law, and getting tied into the local real estate investor networks here in Pittsburgh, and building an organization that's across 41 states and 3 countries. Majority of them made up of real estate investors, agents and brokers, and even title companies. I just saw that there's some holes that need to be plugged, and there's some companies that are doing a great job of it, and then there's some companies that just aren't going to be here in 10 years. So this is the age of innovate or die, right? And where we're at today. So, we're watching these companies come out of nowhere that that are either, number one, going after our commissions, right? They're going to try to make a stand on, we're going to get some traction through lowering commissions and charging less, right? And then you have the innovators that are saying, listen, we're going to preserve our commissions by bringing more value to our clients. So I guess we need to kind of ask ourselves is it going to be the first one that the bottom wins, or when it comes to commissions, or the first one to give up more wins? Are you going to go down the route of innovation? I need to bring better value. I need to provide a better experience. I think we can all agree that, there's a different meal between a McDonald's and a steakhouse, right? So both are restaurants, both are going to feed you, but one is going to be an experience and the other one's going to be an experience. So if you want to be the fastest one to the bottom with no commissions, and you feel that's the direction that you're going, just keep cutting and cutting and cutting. Then there's some schools of thought that say that's the future. Then there's other schools of thought that say we need to innovate. We need to continue to bring that value, continue to serve our clients, create that family environment, show them that we care, not just how much we know. So I'm about to take you down that road of value add, because that's my training, that's my background, Gary. So, I can't help you on the cutting commission side, but if you decide that that's the route you want to go, that's great. But, I'm here to help you bring more value to your clients.
Awesome. Well, I'll tell you, if you could, I know you're pretty high up with a company called ACN. If you could tell us a little bit more about that, and is that the platform where you're using to provide this concierge service?
Yeah, absolutely. ACN's nice because it fulfills a need in most industries. So business owners on the line here, when you hear kind of what we market, you realize that you have these services both at your place of business and your homes, but it's even more so in the real estate space. So, we've already established that the current commissions, of real estate professionals are under attack. So a lot of people in the space are trying to figure out, how do I innovate? So how do I bring more revenue into the brokerage? How do I bring more revenue in as an agent? How do I give customers a better experience? How do I retain my agents? How do I create the long-term income for my agents? That's not there today. So, I don't know about you, but I've never been to a retirement party for someone in real estate. So, now let's talk about how this program can kind of tie that in with the real estate community, why a lot of real estate professionals are just going really excited about this. Now, I started in an area with ACN and real estate that I was most comfortable with on the investor side, living with my wife and getting brought into that space, watching them build a nice portfolio of dozens of rental units. It just made sense there, obviously, to put us in front of investors first. So we all know as investors, to get a 2, 3, 4, 5% cap rate increase, it's a big deal. So, how do you go about that? Traditional means is you force the depreciation, you put a bunch of money into the property and raise the rent, or you make more money off of the existing properties by finding another revenue stream. So that was an easy one for me because at ACN, we have pre-negotiated partnerships with major companies we know by name, from the AT&Ts to the Sprints to the DirecTVs, Dish Networks, just to list a few. And these partnerships are set up to provide these services. Let's say a couple examples of the services: gas, electricity, cell phones, television, internet, security systems. See what these services are is our clients, our tenants are utilizing these services anyway. So, every single one of my tenants need them. And then every time a tenant moves in, we introduce them to our concierge service, Gary, and it allows them to get signed up for these services that we've been giving away for years. And ACN pays us upfront for the customer, and then they pay us a percentage of the bill every single month that the customer pays that bill.
Wow. Hey, would you mind, can you give an example, like, I don't know, like I have, of course, a lot of properties, a lot of tenants too, so, and a lot of the agents I teach, they're investors themselves also, as well as helping other investors. That's why I think this is such a powerful podcast to put out there, because it really speaks to both crowds. But what could, do you have any examples? I don't know if there's any laws about you sharing numbers or anything like that. Like if you bring in just one tenant who gets the phone, or what what does that look like up front, and the monthly, annual? I'm curious myself personally too. So.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I have a good example here we can talk about in a little bit with brokers. Really breaks it down, but just on a simple example, I can tell you about my own personal experience, right? So when I got started, I wanted to be a customer of my services. If I was going to market this is a direct sales company. I should probably, not own a Starbucks and walk in with a Dunkin' Donuts coffee, right? So I fired all my current providers and I switched over to services. Me personally, in my experience, I saved about $120 a month. And what I did with that, Gary, is we offer services like identity theft protection. We offer home security. I never had a home security system. I didn't have my identity protected, my wife's identity protected, my son's identity protected. So I was able to take that savings that I got from the other services, the TV, the internet, cell phones, and I'm able to go out and now equip my house and protect our identities at the same time. So, my personal experience is great. And, it's like anything. Before I took it to my tenants, I wanted to make sure that I was able to save some money on our services. Plus, those that become business partners with ACN, we have a free cell phone program where you can earn a free cell phone service every single month. And then we also have a free gas and free electricity. We call it our free energy program, where just on referrals alone, you can go out and get your home services paid for.
Cool. All right, so I'll tell you what. So you're not only, like, I can see landlords do this. Landlords, I'm thinking of this from first from the investor standpoint. So they'll get paid upfront bonuses for these services, but also residual income on every bill their tenants sign up for. So we talked about that. But what about so you gave the example of the realtor, but what about like a dentist out there? So say a dentist is out there, he's an investor, he's got investor properties, but this may be a stretch, but what about all the people he comes in there getting semi-annual cleanings and kids getting braces and stuff like that? Have you ever seen anything like that being done with this?
Yeah, 100%. I have, restaurant owners were utilizing these services. We're referring it. I actually had a restaurant owner who was, giving out free chicken he has a fried chicken restaurant, kind of quick fast food restaurant. So, just to really drive the excitement through it. But yeah, dentists, doctors, you're talking about, industries where they just don't have residual income coming in, right, especially passive residual income coming in off of services that they're going to pay, no matter what. So I have a gentleman that has, actually Christine introduced me to him. Him and his family have about 150 Mexican restaurants. And in the March, April, May timeframe, all 150 of them were closed for the pandemic. So, a gentleman who was very tough to try to tie down for a presentation because he was so busy, we were able to get him in front of this in March, and he loved it. And we already switched over his gas, his electrics. He's switching over from DirecTV to Dish Network for all of his Pittsburgh restaurants. He has 7 in Pittsburgh. And then he's also switching from ADT to Vivint Home Automation, security for his properties as well. So yeah, they have the ability to do this on business owners with multiple locations, and we pay in a percentage of the bill, Gary. So when you're talking commercial bills and you're paying a percentage, those are bigger percentages, which means the residual grows faster.
Wow. Okay. All right. If you could, I'm trying to think about hearing a number of services. Do you have a list of what are all the services that can be involved here? Mm-hmm. We often, if you go, I know we talked about a couple of them here, but what's the total array or
the full buffet?
Yeah,
as we like to call it. Yeah, the full buffet of services. So we have natural gas and electricity. Now this is for residential and for business services. So natural gas and electricity. We do internet. We have cell phone service. And our cell phone partners or let's just start with internet. Internet is AT&T, Spectrum, Frontier, right, those major partners in that space. We have TV through DirecTV, Dish Network, Spectrum. Now, you may not know of these services or these providers in certain areas, but the great thing about this is we have the buffet of services. So right, if we're not able to provide your internet, you probably have cell phones, and we have partnerships on cell phones with AT&T, Sprint, and Verizon.
Wow.
So we have Vivint Home Automation for security. So Vivint is our security provider. Then we also do identity theft protection through ID Seal. And, this one's a big one for business owners. We offer credit card processing through Sphere. Sphere is very aggressive. They say, hey, listen, if we cannot beat what you're currently paying in your fees as a business owner that takes credit cards, we will guarantee those that we meet or beat it. If we don't, we'll give you a $250 Visa gift card just for your time.
Wow. Well, it sounds pretty comprehensive. Another thing I like about it is, like with the telephone, you're not just limited to one brand. You can offer multiple brands. That's pretty compelling, because I know in the past, I was doing something like this, like doing what you're doing years ago, but it was one brand. That was
Right.
So this is pretty fascinating. You're able to do that. I want to go back to the brokers too, because to me the investors is obvious. And you got tenants. Every tenant that moves in, you just make it part of your signing on process, automatic. And with brokers, though, it actually goes another layer deep. So you got brokers who have all the agents, and most agents, real estate agents, work with traditional owner occupants that buy and sell one home every 10 years. I mean, if you have agents who work with investors who themselves have tenants, and investors are multiple buyers, they're buying selling multiple properties, and maybe the agents themselves are investors too. I mean, the numbers can be staggering. It sounds like it's exponentially way more powerful. But have you had experience with brokers who have not just traditional agents, but agents who focus on investors, where you get that extra, like, exponential impact on the business?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, great question. Well, it's a direct sales company, so there's an overriding component of what we do. So introducing this as a business to your agents, to other investors, to brokers is exactly the way to truly build up your income, your passive residual income in this business. So that's what I love about direct sales personally. And if you got a great idea in real estate, you don't share it, or at least you don't share it for free, right? So imagine if you had the great idea, and sharing that idea allowed you to be compensated for that effort. So I started doing it in the investor world, went into property management world, and then it led us to the agents and the brokers. And with my wife having a property management company, we agree that's a thankless business, right? You don't get roses and balloons sent to your door for property managing. So it's really nice for them to be able to pick up more income off of every door that they're already managing. If the overall owner of that property doesn't want to take advantage of the concierge system, the property managers are doing it as we speak. But the agents and the brokers, oh my gosh, like you said it. The great thing about it is for the agent side of it, they want to take better care of the clients. They want to have more touch points. They want to create that better experience. Because there's a lot of other agents out there doing it. So they want to make sure that they got that repeat business coming back through, and they want to make sure that, the agents that are out here spending money to acquire leads and such, spend all that money on Zillow, some of them don't even follow up with the leads, right?
Yep.
So we know that the warm market, the returning happy clients are the best referrals. So, now that you have that touch point to reach back to a client that you gave that extra VIP experience for, they signed up for Dish Network or Vivint Home Automation through you. Imagine the pandemic hitting when everything stopped. You were an agent. You had the ability to reach back out to your clientele. Hey, just curious, how's your service going with Dish? Great. Okay. Well, I know we're kind of shut down right now, but, I'd love to be able to, if you have any referrals, or maybe you're looking to list here after the pandemic opens back up, it gives you a reason to go back to those clientele and keep that conversation going. And, it's just showing them that you care.
Yeah. Well, there's all kinds of possibilities. Remember, my gosh, you got, investors whose kids are going off to college in the fall. They're going to have all these roommates. They're going to have the dorms first year, and they go live off campus. There's possibilities there, but I mean, my mind's starting to spin. So if you could kind of paint a picture for us, like, what do we have to do to work with you? What does that process look like as you're a flow, just kind of going to I know there's a way for us to get involved here, but how do we actually get involved,
Yeah. What's nice about it is Zoom has changed the game completely. In the past, the only reason my business went into 41 states was because we signed up our real estate investor coach, and, he has he has investor students all over the U.S., but I wore out multiple vehicles and in multiple plane flights going to support those markets because we weren't utilizing this technology. So we are doing Zoom meetings. We do a real estate focused one every Thursday at noon Eastern time.
Okay.
I can get that information to you as well, that we can share this out as well. What I love about that, I don't know, is that something that I could just kind of read the Zoom meeting ID and the code over the air to?
Yeah, we can, or if you want to, let me go to the chat here.
Okay.
And even though it's just you and I, it's basically it'll be recorded, and also then it'll go into the show notes. So go ahead and type it in there. And this is, most people listening to this will be audio only, but we do obviously it's recorded audio video. So it'll be on our YouTube channel too. Even be on a Facebook page, LinkedIn page, and our website and all that. So there'll be multiple ways for people to see this. But there you go. Yeah. And that's every Thursday at noon Eastern. Is that right?
Every Thursday at noon Eastern. They just have to mention that they were invited by Noah Brandy. And we do breakout rooms after, so they'll put you in a room with me. I'm either doing the presentation or on there supporting it. So that's one way to take a look at it. Also, my personal, I'll type it in here as well. My personal cell phone number is 412-287-9006. And then my email address is brandy.noah@gmail.com.
Okay.
And then my website, Noah Brandy, 412.acnibo, that's IBO as an independent business owner.com.
Okay.
So all that information's in the chat for those that are watching this back. And, I'm constantly doing Zooms. I think we have about 20 to 25 in my organization this week that we do. So I would love to be able to, if someone has personal interest and wants to plug into a different time than Thursdays at noon, I can plug them into it as well. But we used to do these presentations. We were doing lunch and learns. We would get together in Pittsburgh, and when we were physically allowed to get together, and we would share this with the real estate professionals, and it was going really well. But that was always a challenge because it was one time. So now with Zoom, we can do it anytime. We can plug them in. I encourage anyone that's an investor. I mean, think about it. We get paid on vacant units. Like, we're taking gas and electric bills off of vacant units that we had to switch back into our names.
Yeah.
And we're triggering bonus money off of it, right now. So it's amazing what these partners that we have give us, just for energy alone. If every bill that you switch over in the month of July, they're sending you a $25 Walmart e-gift card in your email that you can use. So there's so many different benefits that, these companies give us because we're bringing them customers via relationships, via word of mouth. We're not cold calling, we're not door knocking. So it's a great concept, and real estate professionals are gobbling this up, and the competitors are going to do it. It's a matter of time. So I won't name drop some of the big ones in the space that we already got involved or right there at the point of pulling the trigger. So I'm Innovate.
That's it. Hey, when you're in business, it's being an entrepreneur requires you to exercise that entrepreneurial muscle. It's just like a physical muscle. I mean, you get better at it, and you start to see opportunities. And so everybody listening here, I hope you see this opportunity, because it's big. And if you're already in business, and most of you are, you've got a natural network already, not even including your investment properties. You add those two together, and particularly if you're an agent and you're an investor agent, my gosh, you got at least 3 outlets there to provide the service on an ongoing basis. It never ends. I mean, I had a property management business too for years, and every day we're getting new clients, we're getting new tenants. It's an endless supply of business, So no, I just want to say thanks again for taking your time to be here. I know you're a busy guy. I mean, I know you're pretty high up there in the rankings, so I'm glad we got one of the superstars here to be able to do this, and it's even more thrilling for me because of the personal connection. So I can, I know Casey and the folks and Christine, and you're a pretty good guy. So for everybody listening, I don't normally do this, but this is a personal voucher, So take Noah up on his offer. Check him out. You listen in Thursdays at noon Eastern. You got the link in there. We'll put it on the show notes. Any questions, you can just ask me, text me, email me, phone call me, and I'll probably point you right to Noah there. So thanks again, Noah. Any final words of wisdom or advice you give everybody considering all this happening right now,
Yeah, no, I mean, at the end of the day, I appreciate you having me on, Gary. Yes, and I'm just so honored to be able. I love how the world works. It brings us back into each other's lives, and I don't even know if you and I have met or crossed paths. If Casey and I were dating at the time. I know she said it was back maybe a decade ago, somewhere around there. So but the great thing about this is this technology. The ones that are pivoting. The companies that are taking the time and not being stubborn, that are, the companies and the professionals that are not sitting at, on the Titanic, waiting for the 7 o'clock dinner, right? The ones that are saying it's time to innovate. It's time to take our business online. It's time to stop giving these customers away, and bring that value. We get paid off of former tenants that moved to another state where we don't even own properties. They got set up at that property and called us and said, can you help us set us up for these services? So just the value that we're creating, it's right up my alley on the, my background in the engineering space. So I'm just glad to be able to help people out that are looking for a way to innovate, a way to get passive residual income. And, we can go into those details once they reach out to me.
That sounds good. Well, listen, everybody, thanks for listening to this week's podcast. Again, make sure you go to realestatewithgarywilson.com. Click on members area. If you're already a member, you go to the left. If you're not, you go to the right. Check it out for free for a month. Find out about stuff like this from Noah. Also connect yourself with an investor agent anywhere in the U.S. or Canada. We'll be glad to help you out. Get all the free stuff you can get. Join the community. It doesn't cost you anything to be on the community site, and yet all the investor agents are there. They have to be certified to be on there. They can't be on there without that. And you get the direct access to them. Help yourself invest. And God bless you and your families, and keep your chin up, keep looking up, because that's where the bright side is. The good times are on the way, and let's face it, 75% of the business is still crushing it, guys. So let's tap on to that 75%. Okay, you guys take care. God bless you. We'll see you next week. Bye-bye.
Thanks for listening to this episode of Massive Passive Cash Flow. Be sure to go to realestatewithgarywilson.com to join our community and start building wealth today.